Hey, what's up, guys? This is Cookie Monster of ProForgeRacing. I am back with my 12th review of Explicit. Right now, this is his first map, Nitroxide. I know I haven't made a review in a while, but I am back and I'm going to do reviews. And right here is his second map, Inertia. Explicit has made about 19 maps in Halo Reach, so naturally, YouTube has a 15-minute video time cap, so I couldn't have done a 2-minute lap on all friggin' 19 maps. But for the first like 13 or so, I'm just gonna do like a 20-second overview. This is his third one, Trisiptide, if that's how you pronounce it. Most of his older ones, like the three you've seen so far, are really good, large, well-made sky tracks, just smooth and stuff. It wasn't until fairly recently that he's been starting to switch things up a bit. This is his fourth racetrack, Sapphire Waters, that got featured a little while ago on Laid Back Gaming. Explicit mostly does make double wide racetracks, and he's been forging since Halo 3, but he was only able to produce 2 or 3 quality racetracks in Halo 3 because obviously they were a lot more challenging to make, and they took more time. This is Explicit Coaster, his first roller coaster in Halo Reach. I like it a lot because the 2 double and triple spiral over there that you can see, they're really fast paced and they're really fun, and the whole map is just fast paced, and first roller coaster, it's quite honestly, it's great. This is Incinegrade, just a sky track. I believe he only took like a day or so to make it, if I'm correct, and it's just a long sky track. It's pretty good and well made. Right here is his first hybrid map, Anarchy. I really like this map. Hybrids are a mix of terrain and skytrack, which right here, that's what that is. And this is an awesome map. It's really fun. The terrain is a little bit difficult. Not too bad, but it's fun. This is State Streets, his first and only city racetrack so far. The route, like most city maps, is confusing to learn at first, but it's really cool. It's fun, and it was the first city racetrack to have an underground part. There's a teleporter that leads you to the sewers underneath, which is awesome. So if you like city maps, definitely try State Streets. This is Ignite Coast. I guess a newer sky track of his. And this is his first one, and I believe from here on all his sky tracks are compatible with the Battle Tracks game type, because this is when Battle Tracks was initially created from Ignite Coast on. This is just a really well-made, fun sky track that's great for battle tracks, so definitely give it a try. Right here's his first SX track, Emulation SX, which is incredible. It's actually, like, especially for his first, it's just really well made, and most of the jumps work. It's consistent. It's a fun map. And I believe Datastorm 1 made that thing that said Emulation SX on the map, which is really cool. Here is Hemorrhage, his first and only Tempest Sky tracks. Well, actually, it's more of a hybrid because it's got some terrain in there. It's a very fun map. It's well made. I really liked it. If you watched my early Tempest Racetracks video, it had an appearance in there. This map is one of his newer sky tracks. This is Infert Telepathy. It's a long sky track with a big elevator that connects you back to the start. And it's got some sort of rock monster or something there. So, yeah, this was his first map that was only compatible with battle tracks, not race. It's called Eclipse BT. It might remind you of some maps like, I forget, there was a couple maps in Halo 3 that this one reminds me a lot of, a couple of the Crypt racetracks. It's very compacted, but it's well made. It's fun. This is Centrusion, which is another Skytrack / Battle Tracks map. It's cool because it's got some helicopters there. However, the helicopters are exact replicas of the one on Manchester SX by VINIS, so he kind of copied him with the helicopter. Well, he absolutely copied him with the helicopter. But, I mean, that's just a small feature on the map. It's not like he copied anything else. This is an incredibly long sky track, and this is the first one I'm going to do a full lap on. It's really well made. It's smooth. You shouldn't have to fall off or have any trouble with it. It's an incredible map, and it works really well for battle tracks because a lot of battle tracks maps, they have parts that go under they have parts that go under the map, so you have to put bordering on, so you can't cheat and go down to a ladder part of the map. However, a lot of the times with BattleTrax maps, for those of you who don't know what BattleTrax is, it's there's one checkpoint at the end of the lap, and you have someone on the back of your car with either a laser or a sniper, and the two of you are a team. But a lot of BattleTrax maps, they just have too much bordering or too high bordering or anything like that, and it makes it so there's only certain parts on the map where you can vividly see other parts. But this one didn't have a terrible amount of bordering, so it works really well for BattleTrax, so I'd definitely give this map a try. This is again is Centrusion. This map is really fun. It's called the HTS Challenge, which I believe is Halotrax Challenge. It's an incredibly challenging roller coaster, and he did have like a prize for like the person with the fastest lap time as of I think it was March 6th. He said March 5th, and right here I'm fast forwarding. You can just see, there's 4 or 5 of us in the game, and we just keep going, and we are failing. So it is indeed a very difficult racetrack. I think this one's more designed to be a challenge map than just a roller coaster. Because Driver's Ed by Can't Stop Donut was more of a roller coaster than a challenge map, but it was a challenging roller coaster. And this one's more of a challenge map than a roller coaster, because every feature pretty much is really challenging, and it's incredibly thin. It's got difficult jumps that you need full speed for, and before the jumps sometimes there's sharp turns or what have you that mess you up, so it's hard to get your full speed, and it's really hard to beat this map. I believe he said 2 minutes was the guy who had the fastest lap time, and I'm not sure who that was. But as you can see, we just keep failing. It's not like it's not fun. It's not like too difficult because you can beat it. It's not impossible, but it's enough of a challenge that you're gonna want to keep thriving to beat it, and you're gonna keep playing it. And after the roller coaster part, you have to sort of grind on this grid. You have to put 2 tires on either side and kind of balance your way across. It's like a balance beam. And I usually fall on land before I get all the way across. And usually what I'll have to do is what I do here. I can't get back on, so I just have to sort of wait and then wait for my car to spawn. And I've never actually, I don't think, beaten it legitimately, because right after here there's a couple jumps that are too hard for me. But as you can see, it spirals back, and then there's a drop down to the start. It is cheatable, but you wouldn't have won if you had cheated. This is his first of 2 brand new tournament tracks. This is Segrant Towers, and it's really a crazy, awesome map. I like it a lot. And usually, as I've said in previous videos, I think my ForgER review for BLH, I don't really like tournament tracks because it's just, square turns, and there's not a lot of competition or creativity in the maps. However, this one has a lot of creativity in the map because it's kind of like a house that you're racing up the levels of, and then it's like you're outside the house, like on some sort of like platform, and you're racing around, and it has jumps and different levels, and a lot of times tournament tracks are just like completely indoors with square turns, and this one, it comes outside and it goes up, and it has, little MX jumps and stuff. So if you like any kind of tournament track, I would definitely give this one a try, because it's really fun, it's unique, and has awesome jumps that are consistent and stuff. So of all the tournament tracks in Reach that I've played, this one might be my favorite actually. Which brings us to his second tournament track, which is called Quadfire. And, well, we'll be there in a minute. Sorry, I'm rushing. Here is Quadfire. As you can see, this one goes outside, and this one's a little more generic for tournament tracks. However, I actually enjoy this one too, which is surprising because usually I don't enjoy tournament tracks too much at all. I just don't like the square turns and the fact that they're completely bordered and stuff. It just feels like there's not much of a challenge. Like once someone's in the lead, like sort of with Skytrax, they just there's not much passing them. But this one did have some steep bank turns that intertwined with each other, so it was really neat. And I found it to be pretty fun and exciting. And as you can see, Explicit, after making so many double wide maps, like lately he's realized that a lot of his maps, they weren't repetitive because obviously no maps are exactly the same. But Skytrax he was sort of getting sick of making, so he wanted to try something, and he was sort of thinking outside the box. And so he made some creative, original, and really fun tournament racetracks. And even later, after his tournament racetrack, he made something that I don't think he even made in Halo 3. I'm not sure if that's true, but I don't believe he'd ever made a Slayer map before he made the one that I'm about to show you. I don't know if any of you, like I did, used to play, what's it called, Octagon? Octagon in Halo 3. I used to play a lot of Octagon. It's simply a giant octagon, and you're trapped inside with different kinds of weapons. My favorite is to do snipers and BRs in Halo 3 or DMRs in Reach. And it's just a Slayer like practice map for like in Halo 3 it was used as an MLG type practice map because you had Slayers or BRs. And I think there was a bunch of different versions in Halo 3, but Explicit loved it so much and missed it, so he decided to make his own in Reach. This is Octagon V2 by Explicit. And it's just really fun, and it causes quick and exciting gameplay. So, like, what I mean by that is everyone's spawning, and you can always see them when they're spawning. So you gotta really work quickly, because the second you spawn, you might be getting shot at by 1, 2, 3, up to 15 enemies if you're playing with 16 people. And with too many people, I wouldn't recommend it for because too many people, then there's people everywhere, and it's just too hectic. However, I'd say one-on-one, or usually you don't do teams. Usually it's a free-for-all type warm-up map. So I'd say anywhere from like 1 to 8 people is reasonable. After that, it might get out of hand, and I'm not even sure how many it's quite compatible for. However, I'd say any more than 8 might just be kind of crazy and chaotic. But it's just really fun. I used to love doing this in Halo 3. Whether you put swords on, or snipers, or random weapons. Random weapons can be kind of crazy because, if people keep getting explosives like rockets and stuff, then it just gets out of hand. So I'd recommend picking like one weapon that you want to use and practice with that one weapon. A lot of the times, snipers and DMRs are a great choice, but that might just be me. Other people, I'm sure, like different kinds of weapons. Right here, you can see me trying. I'm not doing well this game. I'm not much of a Slayer guy, as I'm sure you know. I'm more of a racing guy. However, I used to kick ass in Halo 3. I had 345 Brigadier accounts and then a 46 Major account, so I was pretty good. I mean, I wasn't like a 50 or MLG pro, but I was decent enough. But I kind of lost it in Reach. Like when I play matchmaking and snipers in Reach, like I do decently, but I'm not great in Reach matchmaking. So that is why I don't do gameplay videos very often, because as you can see, I'm just not hauling too much caboose. I'm taking it in the caboose, actually. Yeah, I just keep on dying here. I'm playing with the famous mapmaker Vionized, one of my friends and a great mapmaker, Awesome Toast, and his friend Grateful, I believe his name is, and they are just kicking my ass. Which brings us to his newest map, Tropic Heat, which he did enter into our Forge contest, so I guess since it was entered into our Forge contest and didn't win, I guess it's not fair that it's still getting in a video, but it's a review and I did all his maps, so I thought I'd throw it in, because usually if a map was entered into a contest and it didn't win the contest, it's not fair if it shows up in a video later on. But anyways, the only reason this one didn't win our contest, I thought it was, it's obviously an incredibly well made sky track. It's compatible for battle tracks, and I'm sure it plays well for that. Usually I don't play battle tracks because I'm not a big fan of it, because I just find it's too hard to kill the other teams, and it's just boring because it plays till 10, so you have to do 10 laps. However, I'm sure it plays well for battle tracks because it's got a lot of areas where it overlaps the track so you can see other parts. I mean, it's a long, incredibly smooth and well-made battle tracks map and racetrack. I just didn't find it original enough because it's sort of just a sky track, but it's still a great map. So if you like all these 19 maps that you've seen, I'll have a link to Explicit's entire file share, and you can download them. And yeah, check them out. I'm Cookie Monster ProForgeRacing, and thank you for watching my 12th ForgER review.